it's Alice and welcome to our October book haul. First of all, I want to say happy Halloween because I'm actually filming this on Halloween because it's the last day of the month of October and Sean and the kids have gone out to try and get, I think, some more sweets to give out in case trick-or-treaters come later, and then we're going to do a smorgasbord of spooky things. So I thought I'd try and squeeze this in where I could. I've hauled less books this month, which I'm happy with, but I've also still hauled a metric fuck ton of books, so sorry about that. Should not be allowed to go to charity shops unaccompanied, and I shouldn't be allowed to tell Sean when I see exciting things in the charity shops that I know that he'll just go and buy on my behalf. So I mean, most of these books Sean has bought. Sean has been buying them and I've just been like, oh look, there's loads of Robin Hood books in the charity shop, you should probably go and have a look tomorrow. And then I come home and there's a whole bag of books that he's managed to buy that day. So I'm a bad influence and I'm sorry about that, but happens. So we're going to break this down like we normally do with our book hauls. We're going to show you the books that you might have seen in other videos. Some of our videos are a little delayed because we've been having problems with the laptop this month, so some of the books I show you at this beginning section you may not actually have seen yet. So if you haven't seen them, then check back because there will be dedicated unboxings to those things coming up. Everything is a bit chaotic here. But yes, without further ado, let's jump in. So starting off with a big chunky stack, this month my Butcher versions of the Red Rising series by P.S. Brown arrived. I ordered these back in February and they've finally come to me. So we have book 1, Red Rising, book 2, Im Haus de Feind. I can't speak German, you'll understand that in a second. So that would be Golden Sun. Book 3, which is Tag der Entscheidung, which would be Morning Star. Then we have book 4, Ash zu Ash, which I guess means ashes to ashes, but is I Am Gold. And then book 5, which is Das Dunkel Zeitalter. And I apologise if there are any German viewers out there that are listening to my appalling pronunciations of these books. But yes, so they've currently done the first 5 books in the series, and they had said that they were going to be following it up with any more that were released, but things have changed because P.S. Brown has since announced that he's making another 2 books in the series instead of just 1 more. So I'm hoping that Butcher will still be able to do the next ones in the series because I really like these editions. I like the fact that they've got the galaxy print sprayed edges. I like the fact that they've got the kind of character with an animal on the front. They're very stark and very memorable. And they're very heavy. I won't show you the foiling or the under the jackets and everything because, as I said, there is a video up on our channel, or there will be soon, featuring these books in more detail. But absolutely stunning, and I love them. And I love Red Rising anyway, so that shouldn't be a surprise. We then have the Waterstones edition of the Atlas Paradox and the Illumicrate editions of both the Atlas 6 and the Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake. These arrived and I did a joint unboxing for these, but it might not be up yet because we might be waiting for the Fairy Loot edition to arrive just to do them all at one go. But again, I go into more detail with the foiling and the end papers and all of the special editions on these, but I will just show you these stencil edges because aren't they stunning? I love the Illumicrate ones more, but the Waterstones one is growing on me. The more I see it in real life, the more I like it. So I'm definitely glad I picked up all of these, and I'm looking forward to reading that second book in the series. Also received this month, and an unboxing which is definitely already up, is my editions of the Locked Tomb series from Illumicrate. So these are Gideon the Ninth, Harry the Ninth, and Nona the Ninth, and these are all by Tamsin Muir. I read the first book in this series and really loved it. I've been holding off for the second one until there was more news because book 3 became book 4 and then there was a surprise book 3 added, and yeah, it's all been a bit confusing, and it's been a hard time being a Locked Tomb fan, but these editions have certainly made up for it, because they've got these gorgeous stenciled edges, and they've also got alternate dust jackets underneath. Again, that's all in the other video, so if you want to go check that out, then you can. But we're just trying to get through this quite rapidly today, because I want to get on and do my spooky things. We also have another little stack of special editions that have arrived this month. I'm not sure which ones of these I might have showed you already, and which ones of these haven't. So I'm going to show you these ones in a little bit more detail. So to start off with, I'd like to say a huge thank you to Fairy Loot, because they sent me a replacement copy of The Bronze Beasts by Roshani Choshsky. In my unboxing of the Gilded Walls series last month, I did say that I did have quite a bit of damage on this one, so I had some tearing on the dust jacket, and it was all a bit crumpled, but Fairy Loot responded, and they sent this out, and they told me it could take like 30 days, and it arrived the next day, which was amazing. Really good customer service, and again, this is a stunning book, and it's absolutely perfect condition. And I'm just really grateful to them for taking it seriously, because I was a little bit sad that it was all dinked up, and it's only the second time I've had damage on a book, and they've really been helpful both times. So a huge congratulations, and a huge shout out and a thank you to the Fairy Loot customer service. Talking of Fairy Loot, we also have these Twisted Bonds by Lexi Ryan. This has the solid sprayed edge at the top and the bottom, and the stenciled edge as well. This matches the first book in the series, and it's signed by Lexi Ryan, and it also has beautiful foiling under the dust, and some alternate dust jacket artwork on the other side as well. So this is the sequel to These Hollow Vows, which I haven't read yet, but Fairy Loot did it last year, and it sounds right up my alley, so I just grabbed this as soon as it went live. I also have The Blood Traitor by Lynette Nonny. This is the third and final book in the Prison Healer series. I really loved the first book, haven't had a chance to read the second one yet, but I picked this up because it's got the gorgeous stenciled edge, it's got the solid sprayed edge at the top and the bottom. Once again, it is signed, and it also has this beautiful foiling under the dust jacket and alternate artwork as well. So we'll make sure all of the artists are credited for their amazing work, as we always do in these videos. Then the last Fairy Loot edition that I received this month was This Wicked Fate by Kaylin Bayron. This is the sequel to The Poison Heart. Yes, This Poison Heart. I just picked this up because I wanted it to match the first one. It's got the beautiful sprayed edges, and I think it's signed. It is signed. But again, I wanted to have a matching set, so grab that one as well. We then have a couple of books that I've received from Waterstones, one of which isn't a special edition because we got Starfell, Willow Moss and the Forgotten Tale by Dominique Valente. This is the second book in the Starfell series. We read and enjoyed the first one. Sean wanted to carry on with the series, so we bought this to get an order up to £25 for the free shipping, because we didn't want to pay for shipping when we could pay for another book. Anything can justify a book buying addiction. We also got The Ministry of Unladylike Activity by Robin Stevens. This is the first book in the spin-off series to Murder Most Unladylike, which is one of my favourite middle grade series of all time. And this one has some funky end papers, some awesome foiling under the dust jacket that looks like a filled out crossword puzzle. I don't know why I always want to call them word searches. They're not word searches. And this is also signed. And then last but not least, we also got the Waterstones edition of The First to Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I ordered this way back in either January or February because it was signed, and it was cheap and I wanted it. and we have the sequel, so I thought, oh, it would be nice to have matching ones. And then we got an email saying that they decided to print it in hardback instead of paperback, so we were going to get the hardback for the paperback price, which is an amazing deal, but it does mean that we don't have matching editions, and I still haven't read the first one, so I'm not sure whether I will enjoy this or not, but it does have some really sick stenciled edges, and it is signed on the end papers, which is very cool, and I've heard amazing things about the first one. Adam Silvera is a hit or miss for me. I really liked History Is All You Left Me. I wasn't too impressed by More Happy Than Not. I really hated the series that he wrote with Becky Albertalli. So I'm interested, but I am not gonna get myself too excited in case it disappoints me. But it's a gorgeous edition, and for a paperback price, you can't really go wrong. So now it's time to move on to all of the books that we have acquired from various other sources this month, namely charity shops. We have managed to acquire no books from the free book boxes this month because we haven't risked going to them, because every time we went we just got too many. So I bought one book off of Facebook, and the rest of the books we have hauled from our local charity shop. I think all from the same charity shop as well. We've been more restrained this month. It's still quite a lot of books, but we'll dive in. You can see those. So the book that I bought off of Facebook was actually the Waterstones exclusive paperback of House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas. So if you have been on this channel before, you'll know that I am obsessed with the Crescent City series. I've recently ordered the Fairy Loot editions. I have got my eye on the Illumicrate editions. I've got the Tor editions, the signed hardbacks. I've got everything that I could possibly have. And then I didn't get this paperback because I don't know, I was just being a bumhead. I was like, well, I've already got the Tor edition. I don't need the sprayed edge paperback, and then I really wanted it and it sold out. So I went back to get it because I decided I wanted it and it was too late. But I found this one on Facebook for a very reasonable price, and it got sent through to me, and it's got the gorgeous sprayed edges, and I've got a feeling it has some exclusive content that was just for Waterstones, but I might actually be making that up. So we'll pretend it does because it makes me feel better about buying it, but it's just going to look really nice with the rest of my Crescent City collection. And then hopefully Waterstones will do a sprayed edge edition of the second book when it comes out in paperback as well, and then they'll match and look really nice together. Sean picked up Baptism of Fire, which is the third book in the Witcher series by Andrzej Sapkowski. Have heard good things about it. Haven't read any of them yet. We do own quite a few of them in different editions, and I thought we had this one, but Sean says he doesn't think that we do, so this is just filling in a gap in the series, and Sean will read them eventually, even if I don't. I got Sean to get King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair for me. I don't really know much about this. I'm assuming that it's probably smutty because I've seen it recommended in book groups where they recommend a lot of like Jennifer L. Armentrout, Sarah J Maas, all the kind of smuttier fantasy books are recommended in there, but the cover interested me. It sounds interesting. I think it was independently published in America, so it's surprising to find it in a UK charity shop, especially in brand new condition. Like, this has not been read. This is Unbroken Spine. And the sequel is coming out in December, so I thought I could read it. If I enjoy it, then I can order the sequel. If I don't enjoy it, then I can just donate it again. So it's only a couple of £2, and it interests me enough to pick it up. If any of you have read that one and you've got recommendations, or like you didn't enjoy it and you don't think that I would, then please do let me know, because I am just buying that one off of the fact that I've seen it on Facebook a lot and is recommended in a lot of book groups, so a little bit apprehensive, but I went for it. Sean picked up Prince of Thorns by Mark Lawrence because he's heard good things about this one. I've heard pretty meh things about Mark Lawrence as a person, so I've been putting off reading any of his stuff, and I had decided that we weren't going to buy any more of his books because we had the Red Sister series, and we've got the Girl of Ice and Stars, Girl of Fire and Stars, whatever that series is called. We've got that one as well. But Sean picked up this one, so we might give it a go and try to withhold judgment. Sean will, at least. I'm not sure whether I will read these ones with him, but he was happy enough to own it. And then we have the fact that Sean went on a little bit of a buying spree of Joe Abercrombie books. So I pointed out to him that I'd seen the First Law series in the window, and he went in and he bought every single book that Joe Abercrombie had written that was in there, Despite the fact that we've never read any of his books. I don't know if it's every single book he's ever written, but it certainly feels like it. So we have The Blade Itself, Before They Are Hanged, and Last Argument of Kings, which, as far as I'm aware, is the 3 books of the First Law series. Please don't fall. We then have Heroes, which looks like the First Law series, but doesn't seem to be part of the same series, so I'm wondering if this is a standalone? Yes, it's saying this one is a standalone book, so that one's fine. We can read that one nice and easily by itself. We have A Little Hatred and The Trouble with Peace, which are the first 2 books in a different series that Joe Abercrombie has written, which, annoyingly enough, the 3rd one came up on Kindle Daily Deal this month, and I didn't get it because I thought Sean had got it with these 2, and he hadn't, so I've now got to keep an eye out for that one. So our Joe Abercrombie collection still isn't complete. And then we also have Half a King, Half the World, and Half a War, which is another series by Joe Abercrombie. We already had Half a King in hardback, but Sean liked these editions more and they all match, so we'll just unhaul the hardback version. But yeah, we haven't read any of his books, but people recommend them a lot, and we've not seen them in charity shops apart from the one that we got before. So hopefully we will enjoy these as much as we think that we're going to, because we now have an awful lot of his books. And then a couple of days later, Sean went back to the charity shop and went on a Robin Hood buying spree. So another author that we have read nothing from, but we have heard so many good things about the Realm of the Eldling series, and everyone seems to go on about them. So we've been slowly collecting them over time, but Sean managed to find the entire Fits and the Fools series, which is Fool's Assassin, Fool's Quest, and Assassin's Fate, and the entire Tourneyman trilogy, which is Fool's Fate, The Golden Fool, and Fool's Errand. So he's managed to find all of these, and they're all in like these lovely matching editions, and they're all in amazingly good condition, and they were all only, I think, £2 each. £2 each, so you can't really go wrong when they're in that good condition. So hopefully we will enjoy them, because we now have an absolute metric ton of them. So hopefully we'll like them. But thank you, Sean, for going to the charity shop and spending all of our money, because it's normally me that does it, and it makes me feel a little less guilty. Last but not least, Sean also picked up Sleeping Beauties by Stephen King. Yes, we already have a hardback edition of this. Yes, we already had the paperback edition of this, but this was one of the first edition exclusives that had the Under the Dust Jacket foiling, and the hidden cover on this one is the snake, and it was only £2.50, so I think that's a pretty good deal. Hopefully we will enjoy this book, because one of my friends has read it and has recommended it, so we'll try and focus on that one when we next start reading our Stephen King books. And then I went on a little bit of a spending spree in the charity shop this morning, because I have no self-control, and it was payday, and it was my first day off after payday, so here we go. We have The Dead Fathers Club by Matt Haig. We already own this in a different edition, but this matches the editions of the Matt Haig books that we already have, so then we can just have a nice cohesive set. And the one that we had was like a really weird size as well, so then we can just donate that one and have this nice paperback. We have The Fork, the Witch and the Worm by Christopher Paolini, which is a collection of short stories set in the same world as the Eragon Inheritance Cycle series. We've read the first 3 books in that series, still haven't finished Inheritance itself, but Sean likes short stories, Sean likes Eragon more than I do, so this was kind of bought as a gift for him, and he seems quite excited by it, so I'm glad I picked that one up. I also picked up The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, because it's the stenciled edge edition, and I haven't seen that one in a charity shop before. I do already own the Illumicrate edition of this one, but I like the bee more than I like the Illumicrate edition. I'm just not a huge fan of the weird man running behind it. You can kind of unsee it if you try your hardest, but when you see it, you struggle to unsee it again, so I kind of hope that I can just put that to the back of my mind. My friend has read this one and said it's a bit of a weird one. It took her quite a while to get through it, so I'm not sure whether I will enjoy it, but I thought I'd grab it while I saw it, because then if I do love it, I have it, and if I don't love it, then I can find somebody who does love it, and I can get this beautiful addition to them. And then last but not least, the book that I actually went to the charity shop for was Mindwalker by Kate Dillon, because this came out in the first week of September, and for some reason it was already in the charity shop near me. And I don't know why, but I've heard such amazing things about this book. I believe it's a debut and it's spacey and it's kind of like a YA adult crossover sci-fi fantasy. £5, so I'm not gonna say no. £5 for a brand new book. It's a first edition. I've been excited about this one. I was hoping either Fairy Loot or Illumicrate would do it. Neither of them did, but I have it now anyway. So I'm happy with that. And those are all the physical books that we hauled this month, which means this is a much shorter haul than most of the hauls we've done recently, but I haven't looked at my Kindle yet, so let me find out how many ebooks we managed to get a hold of, because I think there might be quite a few. On my Kindle this month, I hauled The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. This is one that Fairy Loot were doing a special edition of within the next couple of months. I was planning to read it before I bought their edition of it, because it's quite a lovely edition. Had it borrowed out of the library, but it got reserved, so I just thought it's 99p, I might as well grab it on my Kindle. I have Hex Appeal by Kate Johnson, which was a sponsored advertisement on Facebook, and I am sad with myself for falling for it, but it's witchy, it's Halloween, it's a romantic witchy book, it sounds cute, and it was 99p, so I could justify it. I got Hollowpox by Jessica Townsend because this was 99p this month. I got Nevermore a couple of months ago and Wondersmith the month after that, and I've already got the 4th book in the series, Silverborn, pre-ordered, but it's not coming out until next year now. So at least now I own Hollowpox, I can reread the first 2 books in the series before the 4th eventually gets here. I also bought Poison Study, Magic Study, Fire Study, Shadow Study and Night Study by Maria V. Schneider. I read Poison Study last month and enjoyed it, but I don't know what it is with me at the moment, but I was struggling to read the physical edition. I have paperbacks of the first 2 books in the series that I have owned for like probably 12 years, maybe 14 years. Since like my early teens, and I hadn't read them, and for some reason every time I tried to pick them up physically to read them to Sean, my brain just wouldn't let me. I could get through a page, maybe a page and a half, and that was it. But we were reading them on the library app and getting through it a lot faster, so the fact that they put the first 5 books in the series down to 99p, I thought I might as well just cave, buy them all, and then when we decide to carry on with the series, my brain is still doing this thing when it doesn't seem to enjoy the physical format of the book, we will be able to just carry on with them on the Kindle. I also picked up Love Locked Down by Beth Reekles. Beth Reekles is the author of The Kissing Booth, and this, I believe, is her adult debut, and it follows like a bunch of different characters who are in the first lockdown for when the pandemic started, and I'm a little bit unsure because of the fact that it's a pandemic book, because I've already lived that. I lived through the lockdown. I'd rather not do it again, but I like the concept of it following the different stories, because there's like the boyfriend who is locked down outside of the apartment block, but he's decided he like needs to propose to his fiancée, so he's like trying to break in. That's a fun concept. And like I think there's like the girl who gets locked in with like her one night stand or something, which is kind of like a trope. So I'm interested enough to read it, and it's got a very cute cover, and again it was 99p. We then got Stories of Wizards and Witches, Tales of Tricks and Treats, and Stories of Magic and Mischief, which are 3 Enid Blyton short story collections, and we got these with the babies in mind because we read Winter Stories a couple of years ago and quite enjoyed it. I think there's some good morals in them. Yes, some of Enid Blyton's books are a little bit outdated because she was a product of her time and she was writing quite a long time ago. But my children really like spooky stories. They really like everything Halloween. Halloween is spooky! Yes, it is. It is so spooky, and it's definitely the favourite holiday in this house. So I thought with those all being 99p each, we haven't managed to get to them this year. We might kind of try and read one of them next week. But at least it means that we've got them ready for when the kids are a little bit older, and then we can have some spooky stories together then. I ordered The Midnight Lie by Marie Rutkowski because, again, brain has been struggling with the physical media. I have the Illumicrate and Fairy Loot editions of The Midnight Lie, but I haven't picked them up yet, and I just thought, you know what, 99p, and then when I'm ready to read it, my brain won't be able to rebel against me. I can just get on with it. I ordered The Extraordinaries by TJ Klune because I love TJ Klune. I've loved The House in the Cerulean Sea, I've loved Under a Whispering Door. I want to read more by him, and I'm looking forward to it. And this is a young adult book that is, it sounds like it's kind of like Queer X-Men, and I'm here for that. I like that. It's the first book in a series, and I'm excited to pick that one up. I also ordered the Horowitz Horror Book by Anthony Horowitz. This is a collection of all of the Horowitz horror books into one. We own a few of them. I think Sean had them when he was younger and he just kind of brought them with him, but we don't have all of the stories in our house, so now we have all of the stories on my Kindle, which is nice and handy. And then last but not least, I also got these Twisted Bonds by Lexi Ryan, because as you saw, I hauled it earlier and I'm interested in reading it, but my brain with the physical is not working. So for 99p, considering it came out last month, that is a steal, and I'm very happy to have bought that. And I also think I ordered it just before my Fairy New Edition arrived, so if we had been up to date, we would have been able to read that one first. But it just makes things a little bit easier, just having it at our disposal. And again, only 99p. All of the Kindle books that I buy are normally 99p, so definitely good deals. Which means, how many Kindle books did I buy? 15, 16 books on my Kindle, added to the 42 books physically. It's 58 books. Which is still too many, but is less than last month. And most of these were Sean. So you can't blame me for that, even though I'm the one that told him that I could see them in the charity shop. And I should probably just stop mentioning that when I walk home. I should just stop looking in the window. I need to walk a different way home. We should move house. That's the only way to stop this from happening. But anyway, this was a larger than expected Halloween book haul. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have read any of these books and you recommend them and you want me to read them as soon as possible, then please do let me know and we can get a wiggle on with those. If there are any of these books that you don't recommend and you think that I should just haul them again straight away, then please do let me know and maybe I'll do that, because we do need some more space in our house. I'm Alice, this is the Bumbling Vlogger. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you'd like to subscribe, we'll be super duper grateful. We'll see you again in another few days with another video, hopefully, if we have time to film them, which is looking less likely every day. Thank you for watching. Bye! I got Hollowpox by... how have I forgotten her name? Why am I like this? Townsend. Jessica Townsend. Why was I thinking Jessica Shervington? That's a completely different author.